Hey guys, it's Brent with Lykins Motorsports. This is JJ Jr. and I've been listening to all of you guys' comments. That was good Kentucky language, by the way. All you guys' comments. So I've been listening to the comments, and it seems like a lot of you just want to see what we can do with the GT40P heads, see how far we can go. And it's requiring a little bit of thought on my part on how we can go about doing all this with systematic and almost scientific changes. We want to isolate variables so that we get the most data from all of this. So we'll cut straight to the point. For this episode of the channel, I'm gonna pull the heads off, end up dropping those off to the machinist. We'll have I've got valves already on the way, a little bit bigger, with an 8mm stem. So we're doing that for weight purposes, because if it happens the way that I think it'll happen, we will need some lighter valve train so that we can climb upstairs a little higher later down the road. So we'll get the heads off, get those dropped off, guides put in, valve job, surface the decks, skim those to clean them up as much as we need to, but not overly cut those. I really don't want to change the compression ratio much, just because that would be another variable that we would change at the same time. What we want to do is just isolate what port work would do. So like I said, I've been listening to your comments. I'll send these out. I don't do port work. You don't want me on a die grinder or anywhere near a die grinder. Some men have that as a natural ability, and I don't want just anybody carving on my cylinder heads, including me. If a customer wants ported heads, then I want to make sure that they get a professional doing that and the most bang for their buck when we put money into that. Typically, I would drill and tap these for screw-in rocker studs, and so that we could use roll rockers and that sort of thing. But again, we want to isolate one variable. So what I'm going to do, pull the heads off, have them ported, pop them back on, go dyno again. As I've said in the past, this can get expensive, so I appreciate you guys chipping in the past. That has helped me quite a bit. You all have chipped in several $100s, which isn't a small feat, and I thank you for that. So that goes towards any modifications that we do. I'll get the heads off. I'll probably end up putting this back on the engine stand, because when we did a quick and dirty cam swap on the dyno a couple days ago, and we did it in under an hour. We tore a timing cover gasket. I just shot some silicone on it, and it did leak a little bit down here, a little bit of oil. So we'll get it eventually up on an engine stand and get all this tidied back up. I would, since the heads are off, will be off, I'll probably degree the cam just to see where it is. I won't change it. Just like to know what did what on the dyno. I'm going to leave that old nasty timing set on there, because it's a variable that we don't want to change at this time. So just want to see where it is. But yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to yank the valve covers, plug wires, distributor cap, rocker arms, push rods, intake manifold. Won't need to pull the lifters or the lifter hold down trays, and head bolts, and pull the heads. So let's get started. Alright, so everything looks really clean. We did notice when we pulled the valve covers to change the cam, we had a little bit of aluminum laying at the top of the head, but I attribute that to the brand new cast aluminum valve covers, because that's what it looked like, just cast aluminum flakes. It didn't look like bearing material or anything like that. Didn't have any problems with oil temperature or anything like that on the dyno. The horsepower numbers were consistent, so I think we're in good shape. I want to pull the plugs out and get to the head bolts. It's a good looking plug. Good looking plug too. Nice. Good looking plug. Number 2 looks good. Number 3 looks good. Number 4 also. Good looking plug. I'm gonna see if I can soak up some of this oil that's laying in the bottom of the head before I pull it off. I don't want oil all over my floor. I'll get all oil over my floor anyway, I'm sure, but try to get most of it off. I'll run this bolt in just a little bit so I can do this. Alright, this is the first time that we've seen the cylinders on this engine. You're seeing it the first time with me. Got a nice even burn across the pistons. Crosshatch is still in the cylinders. Everything looks really good. That'll be the fun part. Trying to get all this junk scraped off. So nothing that a scraper and a shop vac won't take care of. Different size bolt. Yeah, of course it is. So if anybody is knowledgeable in the factory stuff, if you're a mechanic or a part supplier or whatever, can you let me know if these are torque to yield? If they are, I'll snag some ARP bolts for it. If they're not, and I can reuse them, then I'm gonna reuse them. Same deal on this side. Everything just looks really clean. So as I've said from the beginning, we just got lucky and got a really, really good engine core. Just getting a down and dirty measurement here. On how far the pistons are down in the hole. I've already measured our compressed head gasket thickness. It's 43 thousandths. Okay, that's top dead center. Rock this piston. There's just gasket material on the block and everything. So, and there's crust on the piston as well. So it's not going to be a perfect measurement, but it's looking to be getting about 10 on the upper side and a little over 10 on the lower side. So for all intents and purposes, we'll call it about 10 thousandths. All right, so I did a quick and dirty chamber volume. I scraped off as much as I could of the remnants of the head gasket. I got 65.2. There was a little bit of leakage in there, but that's what I was getting. So I'll be able to do a quick and dirty compression ratio calculation. So all that's left to do now is disassemble the heads. So I'm gonna get that done. All right, I flipped these over to start taking them apart, and my brain got to going, and I'm just putting two and two together here. So I was gonna try to map which springs got which lock and retainer and all that stuff, but I just remembered I will not be able to use a lot of this hardware because the valves are completely different. So I'm just gonna box all this junk up, and I'll have to see if the pedestal rockers will work. Maybe not. So it may be, guys, that we'll be doing a roller rocker arm change as well. As bad as I hate to not isolate variables, I'm not about reusing these valves and porting the heads and then taking it all back apart and doing another valve job and all this and all that. So stuff does get expensive over time. So I think I'm going to take it all apart, and I'll be thinking about what I need to do as far as spring heights and valve tips and tip heights and all that stuff. All right, so both heads are fully disassembled, and I don't know, I think this whole video has been done within an hour, but this is where we stand. So I'll drop these things off. The more I think about it, the more that I'm just gonna go ahead and have these whacked down and change to a stud mounted rocker arm. We'll see what options that opens up for me. May bite the bullet and buy some T&Ds, may put some stud mounted rockers on it. I don't know yet. So it'll be a little bit before these are back in the shop. Got to go through, we're going to bake them and tumble them, and have to have the whole gamut of machine work. So I just saw that I forgot to take the valve seals off. But so, and then they have to be ported. So I know it'll be a little bit, but you guys just be patient, and they'll come back. So thank you all for being a part of the channel, and like I said, I'm trying to do some of this democratically. I have to be the head dog in charge and make some decisions, but as far as most of it goes, I'll let you guys, kind of point the engine in a certain direction. So that's where we are. So thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for all the comments and support. And stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so that you see what happens. I see a lot of guys commenting on videos that are like a year old, especially the guess the horsepower videos, and they're still guessing a year later. So if you subscribe, then you will see the updates on those videos, and you won't have to guess anymore. So make sure and hit that subscribe button so that you don't make guesses on videos that are a year old. All right, y'all be good. I'll talk to you later.